Well, the Premier League is all but done at this point. Someone might as well hand Liverpool the trophy now. Arsenal have found a way to reclaim and further cement themselves as the bottlers of the Premier League. Manchester United just escaped potentially finding themselves in a relegation battle. Even though Chelsea's Cole Palmer's gone cold, the team is hoping that this is the beginning of a fantastic run at the end of the season. And it seems the curse at the Tottenham Stadium for Pep Guardiola and Manchester City is truly over now. Those are just some of the main talking points of the last match week of Premier League football. So let's dive deeper and see what happened. Hi there, Emperor Mir here of 265 Connect, and I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Full Time 265, the show where I'll be reviewing the results and highlights of the previous Premier League match week. So without wasting much time, let's get into it. We're going to start off by looking at Liverpool, who by this point have pretty much guaranteed the title. It seemed as though the title would be competitive in the run-in, but with Arsenal falling off, the Reds pretty much have their hands firmly on the Premier League title this season, something that many didn't expect from Arne Slot in his first season, but the new manager has come in and proved many people wrong, me included. Of course, on most previous episodes, I have been giving him a lot of praise, but nonetheless, at the beginning of the season, I didn't expect this. I thought Liverpool would have a decent season, but I didn't expect them to go all the way and win it this year. But at this point, it's as good as theirs. Anfield witnessed Liverpool extending their lead at the top of the Premier League table with a comfortable 2-0 win over Newcastle United. Goals from Dominic Szoboszlai and Alexis McAllister secured the victory for the Reds. Liverpool's victory extends their lead at the top to 13 points, reinforcing their title credentials. This loss leaves Newcastle in 6th, with 44 points, still trying to break into the top 4 and secure a Champions League spot for next season. It's very fair to say that Liverpool deserve everything that they're getting now. They deserve a lot of praise for how well they rebuilt their squad, considering the fact that they were expecting a new manager. After Klopp left, a lot of people weren't expecting them to do very well, but they've held their own and they're about to win the Premier League title, so congratulations to them. And I might not sound too excited about it, because now my team will probably finish second for the third consecutive season. I don't think that's ever been done before. Second place 3 times in a row. And speaking of the famous second place Arsenal, let's look at our game against Nottingham Forest. At the City Ground, Nottingham Forest and Arsenal played out a goalless draw. Both teams had opportunities, but neither could break the deadlock, resulting in a share of the points. Arsenal dominated possession, but struggled to penetrate Forest's organised defence. The draw sees Arsenal's title hopes diminish further, now trailing league leaders Liverpool by 13 points. Nottingham Forest, on the other hand, remain third, above Manchester City and Chelsea, and continue to push for a Champions League spot next season. I miss the excitement I had after we beat Man City 5-1. There was so much hope left and gained for the rest of the season, just for Arsenal to go and throw it away. As an Arsenal fan, I'm not gonna forgive them for not strengthening in January. You have your best player injured in December. All your other attacking options join him on the injury list in January, and you decide not to strengthen the attack. We needed at least another forward goal-scoring player. We couldn't rely on Kai Havertz, we paid the price for it, and now we're gonna go the rest of the season without an out-and-out striker. For the third season in a row, when we really had a chance at the title, we refused to strengthen in January, and once again it's gonna cost us. One of the only few positives of this season is we further cemented ourselves as the best team in North London, and for once we could finish above City since Arteta came in. And in the last match week, our North London rivals and Manchester City played it out in North London. Manchester City secured a narrow victory over Spurs at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, thanks to an early goal from Erling Haaland. City's defense held firm to maintain the clean sheet and secure all 3 points. The win keeps City in contention for a top 4 finish, while Spurs' inconsistent form hampers their European aspirations. That loss leaves Spurs in 13th place, 14 points behind City. Honestly speaking, it hurts that Arsenal won't win any silverware, considering some of our biggest rivals have decided to fall off the way they have this season. City are in the top 4 battle, not the league, but the top 4 battle. Manchester United and Spurs are in the bottom half of the table, and if it wasn't for a win over Ipswich over this last match week, United could have easily been in contention for a relegation battle. And of course I've been talking about Manchester United and the relegation battle a lot throughout these videos, but that's usually just been some banter. I never actually expected them to be in the relegation battle. Old Trafford witnessed a dramatic encounter as Manchester United edged out Ipswich Town in a 5-goal thriller. Despite an early setback from a defensive error leading to an Ipswich goal, United rallied, with goals from De Ligt, Maguire and an own goal from Ipswich, securing a crucial victory. This win provides Manchester United with vital points, helping them distance themselves from the relegation zone, while Ipswich's struggles continue, keeping them near the bottom of the table. There was a video going around on social media of a popular Arsenal fan calling this the most boring Premier League season ever. To a certain extent, he's kind of right. The league is as good as decided. We all know who's going to get relegated now. I wish United had lost to keep the relegation battle at least a bit more exciting. But that certainly isn't the case now. With the bottom 4 all but confirmed, it's now just a matter of who goes down and who gets to stay up. The battle of who gets to stay up is between Wolves, Leicester and Ipswich, with Southampton all but guaranteed to go down, especially after their recent result against Chelsea. Chelsea delivered a commanding performance at Stamford Bridge, dismantling Southampton with a 4-goal display. Christopher Nkunku and Pedro Neto were among the scorers, with Levi Colwill and Marc Cucurella adding to the rout. This emphatic win solidifies Chelsea's ambition for a top 4 finish, while Southampton remain planted at the bottom of the league. The most exciting race right now has to be the top 4. Everything is all but done. Southampton are going to be relegated. It's now just a matter of time before that's confirmed. And Chelsea are going to put in a good strong fight to get ahead of Man City and get into that top 4. Only 6 points separate 3rd from 10th in the Premier League, so the top 4 race is definitely still on for all of those teams. I don't know what it is, but I just have a feeling that Man City might even finish above Arsenal this season. That's just how much hope we've lost. The league is done. I don't even know why I was still watching the league. Just end it now. End it. Stop the count. And with as tight as the top 4 races, maybe Aston Villa would be looking to win the Champions League to be able to secure a spot in it next season, because their most recent result really doesn't suggest that they're trying to do it through a league position. Aston Villa lost 4-1 to Crystal Palace away. Selhurst Park witnessed a dominant performance by Crystal Palace as they overwhelmed Aston Villa. Ismaila Sarr was in scintillating form, netting a brace, while Jean-Philippe Mateta and Edin Nketiah added to the tally. Villa's sole response came from Marcus Rogers. This result leaves Palace in 12th, whilst Aston Villa in 10th, but are still only 6 points behind 3rd place Nottingham Forest. However, all teams above Aston Villa have a game in hand on them, meaning that gap can easily go from 6 to 9, making it even more difficult for them to finish in the top 4 in such a tough Champions League race. I really don't know what's going on with Aston Villa. Maybe the congestion of games is getting to them. I've always been very vocal about how much I love Unai Emery's football. They have high quality attacking players. The goals are there, but they're just not coming. I believe they're going to have a strong finish to the season. It's just a matter of time for the goals to start coming in and the team to click as well as it should be. There's also the fact that they're still in the Champions League, so maybe they're putting all the eggs in that basket. They have a very fair draw against Club Brugge. If they make it through there, straight into the quarterfinals. In the quarterfinals of any competition, you really do have a chance, and you have to believe that you can win it. And Aston Villa are in with a chance, so maybe they're not focusing much on the league and are trying to pull off a surprise 2nd Champions League title for the club. Unlike other clubs fighting for European football, whose only way in is to get a high finish in the table, such as Bournemouth, who have been, to me, by far the biggest surprise of the season. However, Bournemouth's previous result against Brighton wasn't in their favour. Brighton edged out Bournemouth in a thrilling encounter at the Amex Stadium. An early penalty conversion by João Pedro set the tone, but Bournemouth's Justin Kluivert equalised in the second half. Danny Welbeck secured the win for the Seagulls with a late strike. This victory means that Brighton and Bournemouth are now equal in points, both just 1 behind Newcastle and 3 behind Chelsea, further emphasising just how tight the battle for Europe is. Danny Welbeck has had quite a good season for Brighton. He's netted goals and quite important goals, and if they do make it into Europe, he's going to deserve a lot of the praise for it. It's always good to see a surprise in the Premier League, such as how Bournemouth have been this season. I would have given the season they're having to a team like Brentford, but Brentford aren't doing as well as I would have expected them to do this year. But no one can blame them for failing to beat a resurrected Everton under David Moyes. I guess Everton and David Moyes are just a match made in heaven. Imagine how much United fans wish they could be reunited with Ferguson just like Everton were with Moyes. Not gonna happen though. Keep fighting relegation, boys. Brentford and Everton shared the spoils in a tightly contested match at the Community Stadium. Johan Visa gave the Bees the lead just before halftime, but Everton's Jack O'Brien equalised in the second half to ensure a point for the Toffees. The draw keeps Brentford in 11th with 38 points, whilst Everton remains 16th with 32 points. At this point, it's safe to say that Everton are safe from the relegation battle. I mean, Everton are 10 points above Wolves, so I wouldn't expect them to fumble it and find themselves back in the relegation battle, but they're pretty safe for now. But get this, Everton are 1 point below West Ham, Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur. If Arsenal won the league this year, no one was going to hear the end of me. United fans would have had to kill me. But now let's focus on West Ham and their match. A 2-0 victory against Leicester City at the London Stadium. West Ham United secured a 2-0 victory over struggling Leicester City at the London Stadium. Thomas Soucek celebrated his 30th birthday with a goal, and an own goal by Yannick Vestergaard compounded Leicester's woes. As previously mentioned, West Ham's consecutive victories elevate them to 15th place, easing relegation fears, whilst Leicester slipped to 19th and are 5 points from safety. I'd really hate to see Leicester go back down, but they've just never been the same since the death of their owner. It's very hard to recover from such a loss, but they've been okay. They've had a decent season. It would be nice to see Jamie Vardy retire in the Premier League, but let's see what happens. The season's far from over. Finally, let's have a look at Wolves versus Fulham, which went in the favour of their away side, Fulham. Just like Bournemouth, I believe Fulham deserve a lot of praise for this season. They've built a good team, there's a good core to the squad, and of course, they knocked Manchester United out of the FA Cup, so many praises to Fulham. Thank you. Fulham secured a vital away win at Molineux, with Ryan Sessegnon opening the scoring in the first minute. Wolves' João Gomes equalised, but Rodrigo Muniz's early second half goal sealed the victory for Fulham. That victory leaves Fulham in 9th, with 42 points. Once again, just 6 points off of 3rd place, whilst for Wolves, this leaves them just 5 points out of the relegation zone. With 11 games left to play, there's still a lot to play for, but it's fair to say that the league has already gone to Liverpool. Congratulations to them. The top 4 race is probably the most exciting thing we have to watch out for. Not just the top 4, but European football in general. Many teams are trying to get European football spots, and that's going to be the most entertaining part of the rest of the season. When it comes to the relegation battle, it's all but decided, but Southampton are as good as down, so it's really about 2 teams trying to survive and who gets to stay up. Well, that's the review for the week. Not many exciting headlines this previous week of football, but it can't always be great. Some weeks are good, some weeks are, you know the saying. And that about wraps it up for today's video. Once again, I've been Premier of 265 Connect. This has been Full-Time 265. Please be sure to like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.